This is our second It Is Time to Resolve podcast. On our last topic, we talk about the awakening of the conscience and what life really is about. Today, we have this question is, what is a divine sparkle? And I brought my father again. Hello, Father. Good morning.
Good morning, son.
How are you doing?
Good.
Amazing. Okay, we want to talk about what is a divine sparkle. So, go ahead.
The divine sparkle
Yes.
is the soul of our essence. The divine sparkle is exactly what puts together the human being with life. Without the divine sparkle, we are asleep. We do not make sense. The divine sparkle is what connects us with our true reality, what I call common sense. And I know that common sense is not very common, but when we are connected with the divine sparkle, we make sense. The human being, life, and the divine sparkle make a team and move on.
Okay, and how do we know we have the divine sparkle? How do we know?
Easy, simple. When we make sense of what we do, we have the divine sparkle. When we make no sense, we do not have it. What is to make sense? To make sense is basically that whatever you do, whatever you speak, whatever you think, creates harmony, peace, and especially you build lives, you create structures, you create new life. So how do we know exactly that we have it? That we have common sense on everything we do, based on the truth, on the absolute truth.
Okay. When you talk about the absolute truth, what do you mean by that?
Okay, we are 8 billion people on the planet. There are 8 billion realities, but there is only one truth. And the truth, the absolute truth, is the truth that comes from the bottom of the heart. That is only one. Okay. That truth is the one that builds lives, creates peace, supernatural peace, and that truth is the one that the ancient masters give you a knot on their heads. They say yes.
They say yes. Okay. And I have this other question is, do we all have it, or there are only a few privileged people who can have this divine sparkle?
We all have access to the divine sparkle. As I said before, when we first come to life, we make no sense of what we do. That's the state of the ego, of the self-importance. When we are asleep, when we make no sense. But then we move on to the other side. We move on forward. And it's the state where you make sense on everything you do, everything you think, everything you speak. So we all have access. We all have the privilege to make sense of everything we do in life when the time comes.
Okay. And how can we awaken this sparkle? How can we have this that you're talking to me?
when you're saturated with suffering, with not making sense of everything you do, everything you speak, everything you think. When the time comes when you fill up your glass of not common sense, then is the time to have access to common sense. So in other words, there is a time for not being with the common sense, and there's a time to be with the common sense, with the divine sparkle.
Yeah, but how? How can we light up this sparkle? How can we just awaken this sparkle? How? I mean, there is a tool. There is something we can do. There is something.
As I said before,
found.
when the time comes, your opportunity develops,
Arrives.
and you will be able to know. You can tell when your time comes. And for example, if you're listening to this podcast, that means that is your time, is your chance. That means exactly that you don't have it. You don't have it. And it is time for you to wake up and to work on it. That's why we have these workshops.
Okay.
So you have the chance to work on it, develop it, and live with it.
Okay. And how does this happen? I mean, why on the workshops this happens?
Oh, easy. You come to the Jardín del Edén and we'll show you how. It's very simple. You just have to apply yourself to do the work, to go through the techniques, and to learn how to live with common sense, with the divine sparkle, with the essence of your soul. And when you do that, when you're able to get to that point,
You free yourself.
you're free of any anxiety, of any anguish, of any uncomfortable situation.
Okay.
The divine sparkle is basically how you enjoy life.
Okay.
When you are connected with the divine sparkle, you basically are connected with the common sense.
Okay.
And that's when you enjoy life at its best. That's the divine sparkle. The divine sparkle is something that most people have it, but they do not know how to use it.
Okay.
And a lot of people talk about common sense, divine sparkle, the soul of the essence of our existence. But it's very simple. Once you learn the technique to get connected with your divine sparkle, it's very simple. And that's what we do at the workshops.
Okay. Thank you. What is the divine sparkle? Well, the divine sparkle is just the common sense. How do you know that you have this divine sparkle? When you put sense into your life, when you enjoy your life, when you have peace, when you have bliss, when you are calm. And how do we awake this sparkle? Well, we have these two beautiful programs, two beautiful workshops where you can come, you can experience all the techniques, all the tools, you can explode your emotions, you can confront your fears, and then you can find your inner master. And then is when you live in joy. So, is there anything else we can add to this summary?
Yes, of course. Just be present in your here, in your now. enjoy the gift you're given. And you are, at that time, divine.
So, thank you very much. This was our Divine Sparkle podcast, and see you next time.